us have them, let's say friends. Hey, the ones you can depend on. Hey, tonight, I'm coming to you again, talking to you about friends. Yes. Best friends, sister friends, girlfriends, partners, friends. Hey, we need to talk about it. We need to remember who comes first in our lives, and it's us. It's keeping our mind together. And sometimes that's done, not sometimes, all the time it's done by having them good girlfriends in your life. So I want to talk to you tonight about them friends. How many of us have them? Let's say friends. The ones you can depend on, let's say friends. Hey, how many of us have them? Let's say friends. The ones you can depend on. Mm. Hey, hey, welcome to Girlfriend Hour with Dr. Grayson, where we come and I talk to you about all things that we women experience in life, the things that make us happy, that brings us joy, some things that touches our heart, the amazing gift that we have within ourselves to also enhance life. I won't say that this vlog is about middle-aged women, but it's for all women and for us to be able to bring the next generation under us and those under them into the light that we sometimes didn't have, right? Social media is a big platform and it gives us this opportunity to share all over the world. We can touch people all over the world. And unfortunately, 20 years ago, this was not the case. And so a lot of things you did not know or you did not get the opportunity to be told about certain things. And it was because they didn't have such platforms. So that is what Girlfriend Hour with Dr. Grayson is all about. And so I come to you tonight and I talk to you about part 2 in regards to the best friend. It's not just a best friend, but girlfriends. So about 2 weeks ago, I heard the message by Michelle Obama, and she talked about girlfriends or friends. She said friendships are important, that we have lost the concept of friendship, and that friendship falls in the same category, meaning it's needed just like a spouse is needed and children are needed. You know, often we put our husband and our children in top priority, but actually your girlfriend time, your friendship time should be in that same category because it's needed as well. It is your lifeline. It's your tool. Sometimes you can't explain things to your partner that you can explain to your girlfriend. With noting that, I would like to add that make sure you have good girlfriends around you that even if you are talking about a situation that's dear to you, that you know that you can trust them. That they should not be one that's going to go run and tell your business. And I can't say totally not tell your business, but being the type of person that's not going to judge you and hold it against you. So if anybody heard that message, you know exactly where I'm coming from, and you know exactly where she was referring to as being the tools on your lifeline. And a lot of women have friends that's their tools and their lifelines. I mentioned last week in my episode about, you know, some women have sororities that they are their lifeline tool. That's their lifeline tool. Some people have best friends, that's their lifeline tool. Some people have just good girlfriends, that's all their best friends, that's lifeline tools. They even have siblings, girlfriends their sister that's like a girlfriend to them, and it's their lifeline tools. So I asked about how did you build friends last week I asked, how did you build friends, and what makes your girlfriend, your good girlfriend, and what makes you feel like I can, I love this person in my life, and she's very important to me. When I asked that question, I had a lot of people come back to me, and they gave me, they was like, well, we've been through so much together, right? We've had life experience. We've gone through some trials and tribulations. We've fallen out sometimes, but we've gotten back together because we talked. So some of the girls that responded, they were like, if it wasn't for my girlfriend, I don't think I would be able to say I have sanity, And it's amazing to hear all the different responses. And I had to go along with it. I can tell you, as a woman who has a lot of girlfriends that are so dear to me, and like I said before, they're like my sisters. So having them in my life, sometimes I've held things back from them because I didn't know how to communicate my issue with, not that it was an issue with them, but the issue that I was dealing with. I had a issue that I held on in my heart for many years, and I told no one until recently. Within the last 3 years, I came out and I told them, and they was just like, why did you deal with this all by yourself? You could have told us. We weren't going to judge you. And so many words of encouragement. They hugged me because they felt like I shouldn't have had to deal with that by myself. And I have to really commend them for being able to tell me how much they love me after hearing my story. Sometimes you just feel like, okay, maybe I'll be judged. And not that they judging type people, but that's your mind playing tricks on you. It's like, don't tell nobody. If you tell them, you're gonna have to deal with this or blah blah blah, right? And so expressing what was going on and what had gone on in my life, and telling them, made me feel like I had a big old brick weight lifted off of my chest, right? And with having that weight lifted off my chest, I felt free. I felt like, oh yes. And I couldn't have done it if I didn't have good girlfriends to be able to discuss those things with. I couldn't have felt free if I didn't have my good girlfriends to discuss that with. I wouldn't have. They've always encouraged me, but I don't think that if I held it in, it would have ate at me so much that I would have burst. I felt comfortable with telling them when I told them, and they all looking, shocked or whatever. I felt better. It took me a long time to tell them. I kind of hate that it took me so long to tell them. And that's on me. Like I said, it's your own mind to be playing tricks on you and to eat you up. But it's my girlfriends that helped me survive. Those are the things that are amazing about us as women. I also know that we're getting up in age where we have menopause and perimenopausal, and we're going through our own battles and struggles. And with having those battles and struggles, it's good to be able to have a girlfriend that say, okay, girl, wait a minute. Okay, these might be menopausal moments that you're having. Not that you're having these moments and you just acting a fool and nobody understands you. Once again, when I mentioned about social media, now you can hear a lot about menopausal symptoms and how to help you manage them, And so having those girlfriends at this time in your life, you're able to say, okay, I'm having this certain situation. I can tell you, coming from a personal experience with myself. So in 2021, I had surgery. I had a hysterectomy. I had a partial. And prior to that, a year prior to that, I started having these symptoms, and it was just the weirdest symptoms. So I had never had cramps ever in my entire life. From what I hear, the birth of a child is like having cramps, and I'm sorry if anybody ever, if you deal with that, ladies, I am so sorry. But I had heavy bleeding, very, very heavy menstrual bleeding. And with the heavy menstrual bleeding that I was having these clumps of blood clots that was coming out. I had never experienced that before. I could be in the shower and it'd just be like plop, and it'd be like this big old blood clot that I could fit in like the palm of my hand. Sorry if it's graphic, but it's the truth. And also I had this weird clear liquid that was coming out of me. Well, I wasn't sexually active, so I knew it wasn't a STD or anything, but it was this weird liquid that was coming out. And the doctors told me, my gynae doctor told me, she was like, we've tested it. I can't tell you what it is because we don't know. Well, at the same time, I'm talking to my girlfriends about it, right? Come to find out, one of my other girlfriends who have fibroid issues, she had the same liquid coming out. Her having this liquid coming out, she's like, she's married, so she's like, what's going on, blah 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 blah, and he like, I ain't did nothing. The doctor told her the same thing, so she's concerned, worried about it. Another girlfriend I had the same liquid out. It was 4 of us who had the same liquid coming out, and the doctors couldn't tell us what it was. And if we didn't talk to each other about it, once again, about that power of girlfriends, and the crazy part about it is each one of these girlfriends, they didn't know each other. Each one of these girlfriends, they live in totally different states and cities. So they were all, I'm connected to them, right? And to hear these different stories and these symptoms that we both are having and sharing, we're each other's support line. And then we go to the doctor and it's like, okay, so this is what the doctor told me, but it goes into saying, it's your girlfriends, it's that girl power, it's that someone you can talk to. I can tell you, my mom, she didn't have menopause. Well, she had heavy bleeding, but she didn't have any of the symptoms that I had. She never had to have a hysterectomy either. So it's not something that she could share, that she could even say, I understand. And when I had to have my hysterectomy, she found out through talking to my grandmother that my grandmother had a partial too, but my mother never knew it. So it wasn't until, at that time I was 48 years old. So it wasn't until I was 48 years old that my mom was able to hear this conversation from my grandmother, So once again, it's your girlfriends, it's your lifelines, these wonderful women that we have in our life that we are so grateful to be graced with, or should be grateful that we're graced with. And I can think back to having friends and going through life experiences with, and outside of what happened when I was 48 in 2021, but just having life experiences with divorces, weddings, babies, all these things, girlfriend baby showers, bridal parties, just getting the opportunity to hang out together. I remember us looking at that life and just being happy and enjoying each other. I was just with 2 sets of girlfriends this weekend, and one was Saturday, and we call it a sister day, and so we had a sister day, and it was amazing. We had such a good time. We hadn't seen each other in a while. We have sister day. The last time we had one was last year. We try to have them often, but the last time we was able to get together was last year. And that's because I travel a lot and she does too. But we had to put it on the calendar because it was time for us to get together. She's younger than me, so she asks me questions and she listens to me, but I also listen to her. I respect her. I love her dearly. The other set of girlfriends that I hung out with yesterday, amazing time. Every time we get together, just an amazing time. I appreciate them. They appreciate me. I'm the one that's I'm gonna crack jokes and I'm gonna bring the laughter. We gonna hobnob together. We just have such a great time. And so it's needed, because sometimes living here in Texas and being by myself, because I moved here away from my family, not on purpose, but I mean, not like I was trying to get away from my family, but actually all three of us are away from our family. We're adults and we live separately. So it's that gathering of us getting together and just enjoying the moment, and sometimes we end up spending the night over each other's house, and sometimes we end up just saying, okay, I don't want you to leave, but we know you gotta go, right? So I just want to put that out there, that enjoy your friends, enjoy that sisterhood. Even if you have a sister, get her involved. Let her know how much you love her and how much you enjoy her. If you have your girlfriends, different sets of girlfriends, make sure you spend quality time with both of them, all the sets. Let them know how important you are. I did something, so this is a tip or idea that you could do. I did something. I had a plant, this really beautiful long ivy plant that I had. Well, I cut off a piece of it and I soaked it in a paper towel and put it in a Ziploc bag, and I sent it to two of my girlfriends, and it's called the friendship plant. And when I go to their house and I see it and it's just flourishing and it's growing, it's a piece of me. So if anything was to ever happen to me, they have a piece of me, And so I say, maybe do something like that, or write your girlfriend, send them a card, go to the Dollar Tree, or write a letter and just let them know how important they are to you. Put your girlfriends at the top of the list. Put your time with your girlfriends at the top of the list, because it's important. You need it. You have your work life, you have your family life. Some of us still taking kids to games and swim practice and different things like that, outside activity, home activity. You have those things, but remember, it's you. You got to take care of yourself. You need that. You need that girl time. You need the moments of intimacy with your girlfriends, being able to, woosah. So that's important. I want you to take that time out. Remember your girlfriends. Remember the times that you've had. Send them notes. Let them know you love them. Let them know that you miss the time that you share together, because sometimes you haven't seen them in a while. Give them just a little tug and let them know that you love them, that you miss them, and you're so grateful for having them in your life. I'm going to close out tonight with just saying thank you. Thank you from Girlfriend Hour. I also want to tell you, don't forget to hit that like button. Hit that like button. Now right there, right there on the left. Hit that like button. Also subscribe. I'm looking to fill up my subscription or my subscribers. Also share. Leave a comment. Let me know how this helps. Also, let me know what's your ideas, what you feel about some things, experiences that you've gone through with your girlfriends that just maybe puts a smile to your face. Also, put down some tips, some ideas, some things that you could do as a girlfriend. It don't have to be expensive, just something to let your girlfriend know. Send them a tip. Let them know that you love them and you miss them. I am so grateful to have you here with Girlfriend Hour with Dr. Grayson, and I want to say good night. Love you. Bye.